12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
A government shutdown possible if no deal is met. What the Agriculture Secretary warns if the deal isn't met and how it could affect Kansas and its crops.
At the very least, they can cause sickness to any of those animals, and at the worst, they can actually cause death.
Plus, a silent but deadly threat could be lurking on your farm. We have the danger of an insect is now posing to both animals and humans. And a game-changing development that empowers farmers the right to repair their own equipment. How the new laws are forcing some changes. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. Under the threat of a government shutdown, a top Biden administration official speaking about the potential impact it could have on you. Our D.C. Bureau spoke with Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack. He says a shutdown would halt programs that impact millions of people in Kansas and across the U.S. That includes nutrition assistance, rural housing development, and marketing loans for farmers.
There's a tremendous return on investment for the small amount of discretionary budget that goes into the Department of Agriculture. It's for rural America, a place that is 15% of America's population, 70% of America's land mass, the place where our food is produced, the place where our water comes from, the place where the feedstock for all of our electricity comes from.
He says the House should honor a previously recognized budget outline, which was supported by the president and a majority of Congress. And a lightning-fast auction lasting just 15 minutes, 115 acres of farmland in Missouri shattered records, selling for a staggering $34,800 per acre. The sale now stands as the new benchmark in farmland prices, surpassing the previous record of $30,000 per acre in Iowa. The competitive bidding war pitted two determined farmers against each other. Jim Rothermich of Iowa Appraisal noted that the auction showcased unwavering determination and high demand for top-quality farmland.
What surprises me, the last time we've seen a record price was November 10th, 2022. It was $30,000 an acre in Sioux County, Iowa.
Now, he anticipates that high interest rates may influence land prices in the future, but emphasized the current unpredicted demand for high-quality farmland. This record sale has mixed implications for the agricultural community, with nearby landowners seeing their equity rise, but prospective buyers potentially facing higher prices due to sellers seeking premium rates inspired by this groundbreaking sale. For years, consumers have been restricted from getting the information to the right to repair their own electronics and appliances. American farmers have also been unable to repair tractors and other equipment they own. As Barry Peterson reports, new laws are forcing some changes.
Zach Wood is steering tens of thousands of dollars of high-tech farm equipment, like a GPS-guided planter that won't seed the same row twice. But a computer glitch can shut it all down, and then farmers in rural areas can wait days for a dealer's service call.
Does that increase the risk that you're going to lose the crop to weather?
Yeah, your combine's sitting on the side of the field and you can't use it, and you haven't cut most of the field, and before it hails it off, then you lose the whole thing.
Okay, let's go over to the other one. Zach's father, Danny, testified for Colorado's Farmer Right to Repair law, so farmers can get the information from dealers to do their own repair work. And he was there when the bill was signed into law.
Tell me why it has such resonance with farmers.
Farmers are not people that like to rely on others.
Some dealers for John Deere, America's biggest farm machinery maker, opposed the bill. John Deere declined an interview and sent an email saying, in part, John Deere supports a customer's decision to repair their own products, utilize an independent repair service, or have repairs completed by an authorized dealer. State Representative Brianna Titone was among the law sponsors and says right to repair addresses wider issues.
It comes down to a lot of the environmental issues around the consumer products that are just thrown away.
One study showed that if we repaired and used cell phones for another year, which would curtail, sometimes polluting manufacturing, it would be the same environmental benefit as taking more than 600,000 cars off the road.
So we need to replace that floor. And that's
Right to repair will help farmers keep their equipment running. Critical, they say, to keeping them in business. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Pete's, Colorado.
Now, there are right to repair laws in several states. 24 other states are considering legislation. Still ahead, farmers and ranchers across the country are pushing for a new bill that they say would benefit everyone. Hear from a local advocacy group on why they say it needs to be done now.